Guys, I just like to say this, but I think the road to success isn't for everybody. And it's kind of a harsh saying because, everyone wants to be successful in life, but not everybody can achieve it because of how they are as a person. And I'm not knocking everyone for being different or drastically like, everyone has different mindsets, is what I'm trying to get at. And everyone isn't made for success. Some people are just bound to fail. And I know it's like a weird, twisted concept that I have, but I believe that some people are just built for success. Like you could look at someone that's working so hard and taking care of themselves and stuff like that, and you could tell like, hey, that person like actually has something going on for them. Especially like I noticed like in I guess just around me or my workplace, my friends and I, like I've noticed like some people you just know they're gonna be something. I guess it's a weird explanation, but if you get it, you get it, and if you don't, you don't. I don't want to be biased because I don't want to be biased to saying, oh, my friends are all like superstars, yada yada. One, obviously we're not. We're just regular civilians, or we are regular civilians for now. But what I mean by the road to success isn't for everyone is that a lot of people don't realize like it takes more than just trying once or twice. It's really about, I guess, the journey, not the destination. And I know that's a corny saying that everyone says like, oh, don't worry about getting rich. Like it matters about the journey about it. But at least for me, I'm really enjoying the journey of just building my wealth up. And it's not just for me; it's also for my kids and my grandkids. Building generational wealth is something that isn't easy, and going step by step and learning the process along the journey is what really like satisfies me as a person. Of course, I want to save money at the end too. Like I don't want the goal is to have generational wealth, but the journey there is what I enjoy the most. Like learning new things that I haven't learned before and applying it to my life is something like that I actually enjoy doing. And I have some key points listed on my video. I don't know if you guys watch my other videos, but I'm sure you have. If you haven't, welcome to my channel. Welcome to my channel. Point number one is just realizing that you have to stay down and save while everyone else is just partying or wilding out or going on vacation pretty often. And what I mean by this is having delayed gratification. Like technically, could I afford a nice trip out? Yes, but is it worth it to drain all my savings, or like, is it worth it to spend a lot of money just for something that is just temporary? I know memories stay forever, but I'm not saying just stay inside forever and never go out. But I'm trying to say like you shouldn't spend all your money just going out to have fun, to like live your 20s. Like, oh, enjoy your 20s. Like 30 into your 30s, you should like lock in and stuff like that. And I think that's false. So that's that's really something I have to say, because a lot of people just party in the 20s and they don't realize like in your 20s is like when you should start building your career. Is when you should start building your wealth, because time will beat everything. Time beats everyone in life. I know time isn't on my side. Like I am young, and it may seem like, hey, I have so many years, so many decades to live, but I don't take it for granted just because I'm young. Like what if I get in a car accident, and what if something bad really happens to me? Like my chances are gone. So I don't take it for granted, and I always like try to strive for something better. And this applies with everything in life. It doesn't apply just to finance in general. It applies to like all my hobbies, everything, my job, my career. I put all, I guess I put my all into it, just because tomorrow's not granted, and like you really don't realize it until it's far too late. And if you do realize it before, you generally become a better person as a whole. I'm not saying people that don't realize the truth about living life, like it's not guaranteed. Life isn't guaranteed, guys. And it's kind of hard to accept, but once you accept that, you start realizing and, I guess, enjoying your life more. So, and how does this relate to point number one? It's really just relating it by like understanding that like like tomorrow isn't guaranteed, but that shouldn't mean I party and wild out and spend thousands and thousands of dollars on clothes or whatever I'm interested in just because I feel like, it's good. Like the road to success isn't a short term, I guess, isn't short term. It's a long journey. And maybe it'll take a shorter time for some people. Maybe it'll take another decade or two for other people. For me, at least, I don't think I'll get to what I consider wealthy or successful for a couple of decades. And that's because my terms of success is having to not worry about my bills, but knowing, generally understanding like what my finances are still. I don't want to be, I guess, I could use this as an example. I don't want to be an NBA player that signed a contract for millions and millions of dollars and keeps swiping the cards away, keep buying everything they can. I mean, before they know it, they have $0 in the account. I want to be still financially responsible and aware of my income and where all my money is flowing, my cash flow, everything. And I want to build my kids and my kids' kids and my grandchildren's kids' lives up. But I can't guarantee that just because what if my kid has a different mentality than I do? What if my kid doesn't want to continue building that wealth, or what if my kid doesn't want to, let's say, be financially responsible? Like, what if they all blow it? Like, hey, I just got like 800,000 from my dad. Like, oh, I'm gonna blow it all on this instead of building wealth. Like, instead of like buying a property and renting it out. So, yeah, that's point number one, is just staying down and saving while everyone else is partying, because partying really costs a lot. Like, wilding out is like buying expensive cars like that, cars that you can't afford, which is something really idiotic you shouldn't do, because cars off the lot, I think they lose like 20-ish% of value just because you just bought that car. You could put 0 miles on it, but that one owner says something. It's one owner is worse than 0 owners. But enough of point number one. Point number two is just realizing that being wealthy is just more important than being rich. And a lot of people don't know the difference between wealth and rich. So rich is really just, at least in my definition, rich is just I guess just you have a lot of money. That's it. But wealth is something that is secure, something that's like, hey, I know I'm gonna be good, or like, hey, I'm not gonna worry about this because I have this. And I understand you could think like being rich can't pay for that, because technically, yeah, being rich and being wealthy correlates, but being wealthy is more than just your financial situation. It's really about your body. Like, hey, is my body fine? Do I like need to work out more? Am I eating healthy? Being wealthy is something that I guess rich people can't afford. Like, you can be wealthy and be rich, but you can't be rich first then wealthy. I don't know how that makes. I'm gonna try to make sense of it, but if like, being rich doesn't mean that you're wealthy, but being wealthy usually correlates with being rich. And wealth doesn't have to be like multi-million dollars. You could be a wealthy man with like $500,000 because of your wisdom and because you take care of yourself, compared to someone who just eats junk food and is a multi-millionaire that thinks money solves everything, which it really doesn't. And I'm not saying money doesn't help, but it doesn't solve your wealth. It doesn't solve your health. And that's point number two, is wealth is just way more important than being rich. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. A lot of people just suggest, or they just think like, hey, I'm gonna become rich and do this and that. Like, oh, I'm gonna buy this stuff. Like, no, like, you need to build wealth, guys, not just getting rich, I guess. The difference between being wealthy and being rich is that the wealthy know how to maintain their money, while the rich just keeps buying and buying. So that's point number two. And point number three I have for you guys is see here. Point number three is learning how to budget. It's not easy. I know I used to not budget my money at all. I used to be a big spender. I know I worked at fast food back then, but even so, like I didn't really have any bills to pay, so I didn't know how to budget, and I really didn't know how to budget until like a year ago, which kind of seems crazy because now I'm giving advice about financial wealth, and I know a lot of people think like, oh, only a year, like that's not much. You can't learn much from it, but you really can if you study on it, if you research about it, read articles, do everything about it, guys. I'm not saying like I'm a smart ass or something like that, but I'm saying learning how to budget is the thing that will set you up for success, which is the road you're chasing. You know, you're chasing the road to success. But learning how to budget, it's not easy for a majority of people because they think, like, oh, they think, why would I do this when I'm living in the moment, or like, why would I do that whenever I have this many bills and stuff like that. But a lot of people don't accept the fact that they can shorten or minimize their bills, and sometimes you can't. Like if you live in a high living cost of area, you can't just jump from like $2,000 rent and just 1,000. But you could find other things that you can lower down that will build your wealth. Like you can save money, because I managed to save 30 to 40% of my income, and I still have bills to pay. And I'm not getting paid like $40 an hour or anything. I'm getting paid $18 an hour. It's really just learning how to budget and not live outside my means. And living outside my means means like just buying the new most expensive things, buying that truck, buying that brand new car payment that's more than your rent. It's kind of absurd that people pay this much price just for the wealth. I understand that vehicles can be nice, but it gets you to point A to point B. So that's point number 3. Learning how to budget isn't easy. If you guys need help budgeting, send me, I guess, just comment down below your budget. Financial transparency is something that I guess, what's the word for it? I advise people to do. I'm not frowning upon people that make less than me. At the same time, I'm not gonna be like, I guess I'm not gonna dick ride. I don't want to say that word, but I'm not gonna dick ride people that have more money than me. Like we all are in different stages of life. We all are different human beings. We all have different environments. We're all different people. And just because I'm at one stage and you're below me doesn't mean like I'm better than you. Because I was at that stage literally like a year or two ago too. I didn't know anything about finance, and maybe I am lucky that it took me only like, maybe I'm lucky that it took me only like 20 years to realize that, maybe I should start saving money for my retirement account, for my high yield savings. I apologize, for my high yield savings account, stuff like that. I apologize, guys, but generally learning how to budget isn't easy. But once you execute it and once you get in the flow of it, it gets easier and easier. At least for me, I have a automated payments, or not payments, but transfer set up to my high yield savings account. I put 200 in there every week. 200 doesn't sound like much, but it's a huge chunk of my paycheck, and I get paid weekly, by the way. So 200 goes to my savings account, and it's been like, I think 2 months since I started that, and I've already gained like 2,000 pretty much. And it's so nice to just see your account go up. Am I trying to save for a house? Probably. Should I? Yes. But I also want to invest in my retirement account, or just a brokerage account to put my money in. To actually invest, money will work for money. But enough yapping with number 3. Number 4 is realizing that the road to success isn't just, I guess, just hopping on trends. Like, hey, like doing acrylic nails is the move right now. Like everyone wants acrylic nails. Or like, oh, everyone wants these type of floors. Like everyone wants these type of concrete. And jumping idea to idea is something that I generally do not advise, because I would rather stick for one general thing to do and be the best at it than be average at everything else. But that's really my mentality of it. I know some people, they like doing everything, like everything in the world. They want to try everything in the world. But for me, my mentality is just focusing on one thing and getting it down to the point where I know everything in the back of my head. And this really applies with everything, with anything in life. such as your hobbies, your career, of course. Your career is something that will make you money, and just everything in general. Even not even hobbies, even just like stuff like you want to be better at, like say, I don't like changing my car oil, but I have to, so I want to get better at changing my car oil. So that's point number four, is just stop jumping from idea to idea, because a lot of people just hop on trends and like they're like, oh my gosh, this thing is like really popular right now, let's go and do it, but they end up not getting anything from it because there's so many people doing it already. Or let's say you did get it, that get like, let's say you did hit that, like, oh, I hit this much income, I got like, let's say like 7,000 gross just from doing these high side hustles. And once that trend dies, it's like I now have nothing, like I'm trying to put my money in the business that's already dead. And not to hate, but chances are you're gonna go bankrupt from that. And I understand some people just hop trend to trend just to get money, and then they leave too with the trend. And I have nothing against that. Some people are just born like that. And some people are just born hustlers, quote unquote. But that's point number four. Just stop jumping from ideas to idea. That's something that I really have like in my mind, or that I really want to focus on. Is if I'm gonna focus on something, I'm gonna focus on it for a while. I'm gonna learn everything, the in and outs and everything. So point number five is just realizing that there's gonna be ups and downs in investing. Whenever you invest, you're taking a risk. That's just something that's like non-negotiable. You're gonna take a risk. Like a lot of people think the S&P 500 will never drop, and majority of the time it does drop, or not majority, but sometimes it does drop. Like the beginning of the year, 2026, the S&P 500 it dropped a lot, and a lot of people were scared because like, oh, what happened to the 7%, 8% annual average rate, whatever percentage that it usually does. Sometimes it does drop. It goes based off the economy. If the economy isn't doing that well, then chances are the S&P 500 isn't gonna be blooming as it should be. And you gotta realize like that, like it's not always gonna be up. It's not always gonna be down. There's ups and downs in investing, and there's always ups and downs in life decisions too. Like let's say I wanted to start my own business, and I have this much money. Like I could take that risk, but I have to understand and know that taking a business or starting a business isn't easy. I'm gonna be down a lot of money when I first start, when I take a loan out, when I use all my money, because I don't have that base yet of a customer base. But what really makes people, I guess, successful or past the road of success is that they keep going no matter what. They have hard seasons, like let's say for example you plow snow, or like just move snow out the highways and stuff. Your company is generally gonna make most profit at winter time because it's gonna be snowing that season, and you're gonna find other things to do in the meanwhile. But whenever it's winter time, that's when you make money. And a lot of, I guess, business owners think like, or just people think like, hey, it's gonna be slow right now, I quit, like this and that. Like you have to go through with it. You have to go through with it, thick or thin. And that's the last point I have this video. I'm sorry if this video is short, long, yada yada, but if you like this video, make sure to comment, like, subscribe, and comment again. Comment what you think of this video. I really want to upgrade like my video quality. I don't know if it's the color grading or if it's my stuttering or what it is, but I want to improve my videos just for you guys. And have a good day, guys.